Hi, I'm Rob, and in this Gems of War video, I'm going to take a look at the Soulforge and tell you what I think is good and bad in there, what you should craft and what you should potentially avoid. Also going to take a look at this weekly glory troop, Gyno Sphinx, and tell you what I think of that. That's an interesting name. Let's take a look at what it does. Jumbles a board, creates 5 lightning gems and gains an extra turn. Okay, interesting. Is immune to silence, recover 1 life at the start of each turn, and gain bonus brown from brown gem matches. So gets bonus brown, uses blue and yellow. Hard to rate this because I need to see how that's going to work, but I've got an idea how it's going to work, and I think it might be alright. I'm going to give it a tentative 5 out of 10, but it could be better than that. Yeah, a tentative 5 out of 10 for Gyno Sphinx. Anyway, quick shout out to Pink Lady. She's the latest person to join the clan. She's joined as an honest robber. Really appreciate that. Thank you, Pink Lady. And Anna, as an honest robber, she has access to Rob Slayer, where she can send me a defense team to fight once a month. You can do it in the comments, just send in a team code. With a few things to bear in mind, like you have to state the colour of the day as well. It's Guild Wars style, so if she wanted me to fight a all red team, you just say red. And you can say 1 troop as well, which I'm not allowed to use. Bear in mind as well that I'm not allowed to pick any mythics in my team that I fight you with, nor can I pick any troops that use empowered, so I can't start with any troops with full mana, and I can't start with snap freeze or root trap either, so you can bear them things in mind when creating a team. And the team will be up usually within 3 or 4 days of receiving that team code. Anyway, 2 artists had an art contest. It ended in a draw. Right, let's pop into the Soulforge and see what's going on in there. Let's start with the weapons first. Not going to go over all the ones that are here all the time, like Eye of Zathanos, Bone Shield, Shattered Blade, etc. They're in my Soulforge extra video, with the exception of Wand of Stars, because that came out after the Soulforge extra video. And Stonecutter here is a new weapon, but this is the one that's in the invasion shop at the same time. Probably better for most people to get it from there. Explodes magic +1 brown gems, grants a random status effect to all monster allies, then summons a monster troop. So a nice explodey summony weapon then. Pretty cool, do like them. But like I say, most people are going to prefer to pick it up from the invasion event, because you're probably going to go to tier 3 anyway, which is where you get it from, and effectively then you kind of pick it up for free, so certainly worth doing it that way. Next we have Withering Touch. Steal magic +3 life from the first enemy and drain all mana from them. That's actually pretty cool, because steal life is effectively true damage. You take it away from the enemy. Because you're stealing it, you're adding it to your own at the same time, making you more tanky and more survivable, and drain their mana. But it is limited to the first enemy though, that's the only thing. I prefer it if you could pick an opponent for that, but yeah, still pretty good. What do we have next? Bone Shield. Deal magic based damage to an enemy boosted by Qatar allies, then create a mix of 6 purple and brown gems for each Qatar ally. Uses blue and red, but generates purple and brown, so you must make sure at least a couple of your troops in your team use purple and brown, or both, to make the most of that lovely mana you're going to get. What's next? Doomed Tome. Deal magic-based scatter damage with a +4 per temporary level boost, so that's going to be another 40 damage at the highest level. Then create a mix of 6 blue and skulls for every blue enemy. These are really popular on Guild Wars defense teams, in this case on Blue Day. And then give 3 magic to all allies. If the enemy has a doom, give 5 more. So yeah, most popular use for that is as a Guild Wars defense team on Blue Day, because you're going to generate the maximum amount of blue gems and skulls. Can be really effective. Dead Gauntlet. Not as good as the Alive Gauntlet, but we'll take it anyway. Deals magic based damage to an enemy boosted by undead allies, then create a mix of 6 blue and purple gems for each undead ally. So similarly to that other weapon, this one uses red and brown to get charged, but creates blue and purple. So make sure at least a couple of your other troops in your team use blue and or purple to make the most of the mana generated. Doomed Helm. Give magic +1 life to all allies with a +2 per temporary level boost. Then give 5 mana to all other allies. If the enemy has a doom, give 4 more mana and give 2 magic to all allies for each red enemy. So quite a lot going on there to make sure you get the most out of that, and obviously mostly effective against a all red team at the same time. But yeah, I'm not really a fan of these giving life to all allies ones, because even with the boost, it's not that amazing. And there are so many high powered troops now that deliver massive damage. It can override what you're gaining really quickly. I'd rather have a hero or another troop that done good damage myself. You need to do damage to win games. I'm not saying it's useless or anything like that, but not particularly my particular style. Scythe of Qatar, kind of the anti-Qatar weapon if you like. Remove all purple gems. Deal magic-based damage to an enemy boosted by gems removed. And if the enemy is from Qatar or if the battle is in Qatar, deal double damage. So, a bit situational, but low mana cost and can be effective in those correct situations. Scarab Blade. Explode magic +1 purple gems. Grant a random status effect to all undead allies. Then summon a undead troop. So, a explodey summoning weapon. Pretty good. I like these. Like them a lot. Uses blue and brown, but explodes purple. But still good. Do like them. Wand of Stars. That's the only one that's sort of here all the time, but not in my Soulforge extra video. Really cool weapon. If you've got the resources to craft it, you really should. Can be a bit hit and miss sometimes. It can let you down, but most of the time it's a fantastic mana generator. Right, have we got any more? Tomb Lord's Crook. Explode magic +1 purple gems. Grant a random status effect to all Qatar allies. Then summon a Qatar troop. So another explodey summoning weapon. Always worth picking up there. Very, very useful indeed. And what we got? Is that it? Yes, it is. Right, so let's take a look at the troops. Let's start from the bottom and work our way up. Again, all the ones that are here all the time, but with the exception of Sitharask this time, aka Janet. The other troops are in my Soulforge extra video. And actually with the exception of Stellarix. So I might have to update that soon actually. Right, so first off we have Aravatar. Deals magic-based true damage to an enemy boosted by his life. A 2-to-1 ratio. And if the enemy dies, explode all Deathmark gems. Convert 2 yellow gems to Deathmark gems when his turn begins. Does help. And obviously that can be quite effective on its own. And immune to Deathmark means he's not subject to those Deathmark gems himself. So yeah, it's alright. Who's next? Shade of Zorn. Does damage to an enemy boosted by red allies and skulls. If the enemy dies, summon 2 Fists of Zorn. So it's pretty bad. It's really quite bad. Does gain 4 mana when it takes damage, and it's got no skull protection either or anything like that, or spell reduction. So it's just going to die at a normal speed unless you can somehow protect it all the time. So yeah, shocking. Shocking. The Queen of Sin. Deals magic-based true damage to the first 2 enemies, which is pretty cool. Summon Wrath or Lust, then bless all the Daemon allies. So yeah, she's pretty good. Queen of Sin, that true damage is very effective. And enemies lose 4 from a random skill point when an ally casts a spell, as well as reduce damage from spells by 25% is pretty cool. And gain 1 magic when an ally casts a spell. Also pretty good. So a good set of traits there. Sometimes it's not all about the spell itself, but obviously that is helpful. But when you've got a good set of traits as well, that can help make the troop a bit more usable. And who's the last one? Oh, Gaard's Avatar. This was one of the earliest mythics I got, I think. In the early days of playing the game. It doesn't sound very good at first, but it actually is. Deals what looks like a low amount of damage to all enemies, boosted by my armor. Burn undead and silence daemon enemies. But it's the boosted by his armor which really makes this. And there's plenty of troops in the game now which can boost armor considerably. And that's what can make him particularly dangerous. Gain 4 armor when an ally casts a spell is good, and recover 1 armor at the start of each turn again is okay. Just very slow if you're a experienced player, but I remember in the early days that sort of thing actually being really useful. So it's all well and good being a high level player now, but you have to remember on the early days how handy that kind of thing actually was. So Gaard's Avatar, really, really good. I like him a lot. So who have we got from the legendaries? Don't usually say to craft legendaries because you can pick them up so much easier from chests. I always say generally, unless it's someone really special like a Tesla or a Yao Guai, wait for the legendaries to appear from chests. First up we have Gaard Fire Mantle. Create 9 red and 9 yellow gems, then deal magic based damage to an enemy. That's pretty good. That can loop on itself because the red can feed back into himself and do it again. I remember ages ago a game where he just continuously looped as the AI against me until my whole team was dead. It was like, what? It can happen. Willow. Actually alright, this troop. Destroy row, which is going to gain mana because the gems are destroyed with full effect. Then deal magic +2 damage to all enemies boosted by brown gems removed. So a pretty good damage to all troop there. Is immune to entangle as well, which is useful. Reduce damage from skulls by 33%, also good. And all beast allies gain 2 attack and life on 4 or 5 gem matches. So pretty nice. Glaceon. Very dangerous troop. You see this in Guild Wars all the time. Transform yellow gems to blue and transform red gems to doom skulls and freeze the strongest enemy. But the traits are really good as well. They're immune to frozen. Reduce damage from skulls by 65%. Makes it very tanky in first place. And gain 3 attack when an enemy matches skulls. Yes, an enemy matches skulls, not an ally. Kling Bloodhammer. Who? King Bloodhammer. Deals magic-based damage to the 2 strongest enemies, transforms blue gems to doom skulls to boost the damage. So really good. I like this troop a lot. Particularly good when you get that match to get a nice 4 match, tons of damage and an extra turn at the same time. An okay set of traits, nothing spectacular, but yeah, a decent troop nonetheless. And that is that for that. Let's have a quick gander in the summoning stones, see if anybody's relevant in there. Nobody particularly from there. Always have a quick look through these though, because if you're a newer player, if you're missing any of these, then can be really good. A couple of good ones here. Savage Hunter, really good on Green Day on Guild Wars. Deal magic based damage with a 50% chance to hit the wrong enemy. If the enemy uses green, deal triple damage. Hunter's Mark on enemies when doing skull damage. Deal double skull damage to green enemies. Become enraged when enemy dies. So that can be lethal in first place, that thing on Green Day on Guild Wars. Versus a green team. Snot Helm is actually good as well, worth picking up or rolling the dice and seeing if you get one of these from these summoning stones. Magic based damage to an enemy, web and entangle them, gain an extra turn. Really, really cool. Very nice troop indeed. Anybody in the red? Nothing particularly stand out. That one does get an extra turn again. Converts some green to red burning gems. Yeah, nothing too amazing though. Dragon Cruncher could be actually quite handy these days with all the dragons around. 50% chance to devour a dragon is not bad. Yellow summoning stones. Shayla, pretty good in a team. You can have 3 of them in a team. Convert a mana gem into a elemental star. But create a brown gem when my turn begins. Actually, with 3 of them, you can create 3 brown gems at the start of each turn, and that can actually loop on itself. Can be fun. Anybody in the purple? Not particularly. And no mega standout. Leshy's is actually quite useful in a skull team because entangle all allies and enemies, but you can create a team that's basically all immune to entangle, therefore bypassing that, and then just have someone else that creates a bunch of skulls at the bottom and know that all your team is basically immune. Some cool options. Yeah, so some good ones in there if you haven't got the troops. But yes, who gets my super coveted Mythic of the Week? It's not coveted at all. That's not going to be you, mate. It's certainly not going to be you. Quintessen's not bad, but I think this has to go to Gaard's Avatar. Very, very cool. Mythic indeed. Dealing damage to all enemies boosted by his armor can be very, very effective indeed. So Gaard's Avatar gets my Mythic of the week. That's the video. If you enjoyed it, found it useful and helpful, it'd be really cool if you bash that like and subscribe button. It really does help. But most of all, thanks for watching. Catch you again next time. Bye for now.